investigation's change in direction got out, a wave of new leads came in. The insurance investigator on the case could only speculate.
Employees or some burglar or crazy guy.
Or maybe the owners themselves.
We looked at the owner's backgrounds, so it means you look at the financial stuff. Is there a motive?
A careful reading of the company books said no. SE Fireworks was a successful company, and there was nothing to gain from destroying it. After months of investigation, authorities were no closer to finding a suspect. They had established that the fire had started outside the main assembly area, and it was likely to have been set by a person, deliberately or accidentally. Wild theories had surrounded this case from the beginning, and now a new one emerged. Consultant Dave Beurs isolated a few frames of Herritt's footage that seemed to reveal a man dressed in white.
Zoals het heet, ging er het gerucht dat er op een dak naast het terrein van SE Fireworks mogelijk een persoon te zien zal zijn geweest.
A person still unaccounted for. In the blurry video, a man appeared to stand up, turn around, and then get blown away in the second explosion. Could the man on the roof have been the arsonist? Dave Beurs and his partner estimated the size of every object on screen. Then, they divided the distance the man traveled by the length of time it took him.
Dan moet deze mogelijke persoon beweegd hebben, verticaal met een snelheid van meer dan 180 km per uur. Nou, dat kan helemaal nooit een persoon zijn geweest.
In fact, it was a twisting puff of smoke from the exploding fireworks. Another dead end. The trail of what or who caused the terrible explosion at Enschede seemed to have gone completely cold. But finally, months later, police got a lucky break. A fresh case of arson led investigators to a local man, André de Vries, who'd been arrested for torching his own car. When they questioned him, police also asked de Vries where he'd been on the day of the explosion at SE Fireworks. Police believed that his alibi didn't stand up.
En hij hing een verhaal op die aan alle kanten rammelde, bleek achteraf.
In the initial investigation, police had pulled about 20,000 mobile phone records, looking for people who had made or received calls in the vicinity of SE Fireworks at the time of the disaster. Now that police had a suspect, they rechecked those records. It appeared that André de Vries had made a call immediately after the explosion, and before long, the web around de Vries drew tighter. Police seized his clothing as evidence when he was arrested for setting fire to the car. Among them was a pair of red shorts. And those red shorts drew a straight line right back to the SE Fireworks explosion.
Wij hadden een getuige die iemand had weg zien lopen in een kort rood broekje.
The shorts were sent to the Netherlands Forensic Institute for testing. Using techniques developed to analyze gunshot residue, the forensic team collected samples from the shorts. They were analyzed using a scanning electron microscope and an X-ray spectrometer.
We found thousands of very small particles with a very specific chemical composition.
Kwam ook voor ons bij donderslag bij heldere hemel naar voren dat er hele specifieke vuurwerksporen van evenementenvuurwerk in dat broekje waren aangetoond.
The explosive chemicals in de Vries' clothing were compared to the chemical residue embedded in the earth at the blast site.
The particles on the clothes were very similar to the chemical composition of the fireworks we found at the premises of SE Fireworks afterwards.
Then, the quantity of particles on the red shorts was compared with the quantity of particles found on the clothes of a fireman and several victims killed close to the blast.
On none of these clothes we found as much fireworks residues as on the clothes of this suspect. It was of a very different order of magnitude.
But the forensic evidence was even more damning. Fireworks contain two types of explosives. One charge propels the device into the air, and the other produces the colourful explosion. Forensic investigators found significant traces of both explosives on André de Vries' shorts. So police investigators now believed that André de Vries was in the assembly area when the fire began.
So something very strange must have happened there. Our conclusion was that this person must have been very, very close to the site of the incident.
And that made the owner of the shorts the prime suspect. De Vries told police he must have picked up the residue whilst watching a fireworks show on a recent trip to the Greek islands. But that story didn't add up either.
We zijn in Kreta geweest. De afstand tussen waar hij stond en waar het vuurwerk werd afgestreken was zo groot dat hij nooit daar enig spoor van in zijn kleding kon hebben opgenomen.
And other witnesses said De Vries was wearing trousers during the fireworks display on Crete. Police now believed André de Vries was at SE Fireworks the day of the explosion, either stealing fireworks or setting them off, when something went wrong. If one of the fireworks accidentally shot into the assembly room, it would have triggered the massive explosion. De Vries was arrested. In jail, he confessed to an undercover police officer that he was the one who had set the fire that started it all. A year and a half later, based on the evidence presented in court, De Vries was convicted and sentenced to 15 years in prison. When he heard the verdict, De Vries went berserk and had to be restrained by bailiffs. It seemed that investigators could close the book on the case of the Enschede disaster. The fire was started by a firework set off in the storage compound of the fireworks company. The facility had not only been overloaded, but also contained fireworks more powerful than its license allowed. It appeared the mystery was solved. But was it?